In the winter of 1856, when soot clung to the skyline of industrial England and ambition hummed through the arteries of progress, a quiet revolution was taking shape inside a modest workshop in Ipswich. Its architect was a self-taught inventor named Frederick Ransome, and his obsession was not steam, nor steel, nor electricity, but stone. For centuries, humanity had shaped civilization from stone. The pyramids of ancient Egypt rose from desert sands. The marble temples of ancient Rome declared imperial glory. Cathedrals stretched toward heaven on foundations of limestone faith. Yet by the 19th century, carving stone was slow, costly, and bound to the limits of quarry and chisel. Ransome believed the future did not lie in cutting stone from the earth, but in making it. He had studied chemistry not in universities, but through relentless experimentation. His hands bore the stains of silicates and alkalis. What fascinated him was sand. Common, overlooked, infinite sand. Mixed with sodium silicate, also known as water glass, sand could be shaped like clay. But once hardened through a chemical process, it transformed into something extraordinary, a dense, durable material that looked and behaved like natural stone. He called it artificial stone. Others would later call it Ransome's patent artificial stone. At first, the idea was dismissed as folly. Stone was ancient, sacred in its permanence. How could a factory replicate what geological ages had perfected? But Ransome was not trying to replace nature, he was decoding it. Nature compressed minerals under heat and pressure over millennia. Ransome accelerated the process with chemistry. By injecting calcium chloride into molded sand mixed with sodium silicate, he triggered a reaction that bound the particles into a rock-like mass. What took the Earth centuries, he achieved in hours. The implications were profound. Decorative columns, balustrades, window frames, architectural details that once required master masons could now be cast in molds with precision and speed. Cities expanding under the force of the Industrial Revolution needed beauty as much as infrastructure. Ransome's artificial stone offered both durability and artistry at a fraction of the cost. Buildings could now wear classical elegance without draining treasuries. Yet the true poetry of Ransome's invention lay deeper. He had unknowingly revived something ancient. Historians and engineers would later speculate about whether civilizations like ancient Egypt had used early forms of reconstituted stone in some monuments. Whether myth or theory, the idea that advanced material science might have existed long ago gave Ransome's work a haunting resonance. It felt less like invention and more like rediscovery, a forgotten dialogue between humanity and mineral. Factories in Ipswich began producing ornate architectural pieces that traveled across Britain and beyond. Railway stations, civic buildings, and terraces bore the quiet signature of chemical stone. Unlike quarried rock, it could be shaped into intricate forms before hardening. It resisted weather and urban smoke. It democratized grandeur. Where once only the wealthy could afford carved stone facades, now entire neighborhoods could echo classical design. But progress is rarely gentle. Traditional stonemasons feared displacement. Some criticized artificial stone as imitation, an industrial counterfeit. Ransome answered not with rhetoric but with resilience. His material endured frost, rain, and time. It proved itself not through argument but through architecture. In many ways, Ransome stood at the threshold of modern materials science. Concrete would later dominate the world's skylines. Reinforced steel would stretch buildings into clouds. Yet artificial stone was an early whisper of that transformation, the moment humanity realized it could engineer Earth itself. Ransome did not merely invent a building material, he challenged the boundary between natural and made. As decades passed, his name faded from popular memory, overshadowed by louder industrial titans. But his idea survived, in every cast stone ornament, in every synthetic aggregate, in every engineered facade that balances beauty with efficiency. The principle remains the same: take the simplest elements of the earth, and through knowledge, bind them into strength. Today, when architects speak of sustainable materials and engineered composites, they walk paths first cleared by Ransome. His artificial stone reminds us that innovation is often an echo, an old wisdom rediscovered through new tools. In reviving the ancient dialogue between sand and structure, Ransome proved that technology does not always mean abandoning the past. Sometimes, it means listening to it more carefully. And so, in the quiet chemistry of sand and solution, an ancient secret stirred again, reshaped by human hands, hardened by ingenuity, and set into the walls of a modern world. Don't stop here. The next story might just blow your mind. Subscribe, hit like, and share this with anyone who craves heart-pounding suspense and unforgettable twists.